good to go. And when we're done,
All right, then.
when we're done,
Yeah, he just had me go do live. She said it came up, BTO. Should I go ahead and make that?
yeah, you can make it.
Here we go.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's good. It's all good.
All right. He put it on Zoom.
Okay.
I appreciate
Shabbat Shalom. We are going to get started with Yehid Nefesh, which is found on page, perhaps 10. Page 10. Yehid Nefesh al Harachaman Meshohatra El Ritzonah Yarutata Emoaya Ishtachaveh Muhadara Kiyeravo Yetiduta Minofetzut Vecholcham Adorna Eziv Haolam Nafshi Volat Ahavata Ana Elam Refanala Teharola No Amtima Atichaze Vetitrape Vehaitala Shifat Olam Vatiyemu Rachamecha Vechuzna Aveino Abba Kizekama Nifsov Nifsa Nirot Tiferet Uza Anaili Machmali Ushana Ve'atitavam Igalena Ubros Vavivamai Etzuka Pages 11 and 12. Pages 13 and 14. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Kata, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Asru Miyom Leyom Yeshuato, Sapru Agoyim Kevodo, Befo Hamimi Vlota, Ikado Ladonai, Ulam Meyon. Adonai Kavod Baos, Avu Adonai, Kevod Shemo, Seu Mikra, Uvola Katrota, Aya, Ishakavu Adonai, Behadra Kodesh, Kivu Mimana, Kol Haaretz, Yimru Agoyim Adonai Mala, Abtino Tevel Baltimore, Yaninami Bebe Sharim, Yaninami Bebe Sharim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Betagel Haaretz, Iramaya, Ulo, Ayayaya, Lo Sadai, Bechol Asher Bo, Asiranu Kol Aseyar, B'nai Adonai, Hiva, Hiva Litzvot Haaretz, Yishvot Tevel Betzem. Pages 19 and 20. And I'm all ears to Amin. Yusha Kruvin Hanus Ares and Ranasim Gadol Rakoko Amin. Adonai Eloheinu. The Scrambled Leaves will rise, page 21. Mizmor leDavid, Avul Adonai Me'elim, Avul Adonai, Kavod Va'oz, ay, Avul Adonai, Kedosh Shemo Yishach, Avul Adonai, V'Hadra Kodesh, Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El HaKavod Yiri. Adonai, Amayim Rahim, Kol Adonai, Bakoach, Kol Adonai, Levatar, Kol Adonai, Shomer HaRazim, Vaishater Adonai, Edarze Hazanon, Vayarkidei Kemoegel, Lebanon, Sirion, Kemovein, Reimim, ay, Kol Adonai, Kotzeva HaKodesh, Kol Adonai, Yakel Mibar, Yachil Adonai, Mibar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Yitolel Hayalot, Vayetesod, Ye'arot, U'ekavod, U'omer kavod, ay, Adonai, Lama Yashem Vayishev Adonai, Melech Le'olam, Adonai, Oz Le'amo Yitin, Adonai, Yivarech, Et Amo V'Shalom. You may be seated. Welcome to God to the Psalm of the Hadavi, beginning on page 23. Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabane Kavela, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabane Kavela, Shamor Bezafur V'Dibor Echad Yishmiyanu, Elam Yukad Adonai Echad, Kushemo Echad V'Shem V'Tiferet V'Elitila, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabane Kavela, Likrat Shabbat Kuben Efakim Ekor, Averacham Merosh Mikedem Nesuvas Soma Serach Shabbat Tefila, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabbat Nekavela, Mikdash Melech, Irmezuka Kumitei, Mitova Pekara Mashevet, Eirmeka Pakabeluya Kamo, Allah Yikramla, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabbat Nekavela, Ina Arik Me'afar Kumi V'Shivite, Tifarta Kami Yalgad Benishai Beitalafi Korbael, Nashige Allah, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabbat Nekavela, Hitoreri Kiva Oref, Uri, Shir Naberi Kevor Adonai, Alai Mikla, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabbat Nekavela, Lo Tekoshi V'lo Tikami, Matisha Zafiu Mateni, V'Kefesu Ani Eyami, V'Nitnetai Ratilai, Lehet Kadodi V'Ikrakala, Enei Shabbat Nekavela, V'Ayil V'Chisa, Shosai V'Rachaku Kol
This Shabbat, we remember those who passed away at this season of the year. Today we've been remembering Debbie Biner, Arlene Fisher, Harriet Friedman, Rosalind Gelfond, Esther Greenberg, Oscar Grossman, Marion Holzer, Nathan Leff, Jean Plitt, F.C. Bellisman, Max Ziglin. In the beginning tonight, Neil Barkin, Shankar Basu, Eric Beer, Phyllis Charnas, Rayleigh Levinson, Sadie Lewis, Regina Gordon, Harley Ross, Jean Trappell, David Trappell, Lillian Davis, Stephen Glassman, George Rothkopf, Sidney Pepperson, Jamie Wigman, Saul Zimmerman, Abraham Edelman, Joseph Berger, Edward Bloom, Sylvia Idex, Alvin Hirschberg, Elizabeth Koffler, Leon Levin, Serena Marcus, Mel Marin, Ann Silverman, Maisie Stanley, Pauline Chudnovsky, Betty Barron, Bob Eisenberg, Bernard Glazer, Milton Levine, Sadie Purley, Irving Strongen, Sandy Kofsky, David Epstein, Dennis Fine, Sam Hughes, Hyman Kramer, James Arrighetti, Eva Epstein, Morris Goldberg, Alfred Krupp, Mary Levine, Vera Rinsberg, Irene Rosenkopf, Mary Saltzman, Arnold Bloom, Leah Blumberg, Sam Edelstein, Max Epstein, Ernest K., Erwin Lowenstein, and Minnie Calliser. Keep all those names in mind, and Warner's Cottage is on page 30. be seated. So there are a lot of things that today you might say are for the birds, like going and trying to buy eggs, for example. There's a bird flu thing going on, transmitted to cows, cats. People are wondering whether cats can transmit it to humans. The cats would like to give it to us, we just don't know if they can. But this is actually a Shabbat that is also in the Jewish legendary or mystical tradition associated with birds. So there are two themes of this Shabbat. One is that we read the song at the sea when the Israelites crossed over, and the other we read the story of the manna. And there is a tradition that on this Shabbat every year, that Jews would on this Shabbat feed the birds, lay out bird seed. And the question I suppose you could ask is why? And in fact, some rabbis were opposed because on Shabbat you're not supposed to feed wild creatures. You can feed your own animals, but you're not supposed to interact too much with nature. It doesn't feel like Shabbat or something. But so the question that everyone, it is commonly known that this is the practice, but people rarely know why. So I'm curious, how many people here is this the first time you're hearing of feeding the birds on a particular Shabbat of the year? All right. Really? God bless. Every now and then I come up with something new. All right. So I'm curious if anyone has any theories as to why this Shabbat, out of all Shabbats, we might feed birds, right? What might lead us to do so? Something to do with the manna. We'll come back to that. Yes. Right? So I mentioned the manna and the song, right? She got it too soon. Well, we're coming back to her. Don't worry. So one idea is that it is connected to song, right? Because that's one of the things that birds are known for. Not chickens so much, but other kinds of birds. So when King David was writing his songs, there are 150 of them, and the letters in Hebrew that spell out the number 150 also spell out the word for nest. And so the idea is that King David put the words of the Psalms in the birds' nests, and the birds spread the songs of David throughout the world. That is not the reason. Another explanation is that when the Israelites sang at the sea, the birds sang along with them. The birds sang an accompaniment, and so therefore we reward the birds for being our accompaniment. Another is that, in fact, birds sing all the time, not just then, but that's sort of the idea. And then we will come to Debbie's idea, which is that relates to the manna. So how might feeding the birds relate to the manna? Since you got us this far.
Well, because when the manna would hit the ground, the birds would probably eat it too.
So like when the manna hits the ground, right, if the birds ate it, then there'd be none left for us, right? But so maybe, thus God made plenty, right? So it's somehow the birds eating the manna or the birds not eating the manna somehow. You're onto something here. Now there's another explanation, which is in addition to giving the Jews manna to eat, God also caused quail to descend, and Jews ate the quail. So maybe we're kind of making up for having eaten their cousins. That is an explanation I've never heard anyone give other than me. So that's probably not it either. But the explanation that is sort of, I think, the most fanciful, but to me the most interesting, is that when the manna is given, is the first time that we hear about Shabbat. And the Israelites, we are told, gather a double portion on Friday, because on Saturday no manna will fall. So that's actually one of the reasons why we have two challahs on Friday night, to remember the double portion of the manna. So there were some rebels who said, you know what, we are going to try to prove Moses wrong. And so they went out on Friday night and they sprinkled extra manna that they had stored up. They sprinkled manna. So when the Israelites came out in the morning, they would make Moses out to be a liar. See, it's not a miracle. There's just manna every day. Moses see there would be no manna, and look, here there is. But these rebels, Datan and Abiram, or if you've seen the movie The Ten Commandments, Dathan and Abiram, not Dothan, that's a town in Alabama that has nothing to do with this. But that Dathan and Abiram had this plot to make Moses a liar, but the birds overnight ate the manna, ate the false evidence, and so the truth was preserved. And so in honor of that, we give the birds something to eat. So these are all sort of somewhat fanciful explanations, right? This is as you can tell based on the fact that we have some rabbis and educators in the midst, and this is, I don't think I've ever spoken about this before in like 21 years, running thin on things to talk about apparently. But I'd actually like to suggest that maybe there is something deeper going on that we can think about, which is that we live in a world where there is a constant battle between information, disinformation, misinformation, right? People throwing out all kinds of different breadcrumbs that might lead us on false trails. And so perhaps the birds eating the manna, right, and us now feeding those birds in return is an idea that perhaps we need to value people who look out for truth. We need to value people who can point out when a lie is being spread, and appreciate what is involved in doing that, and maybe pushing back against those who say that truth is for the birds. All right, we are going to continue now with Kamari, the evening service. Please rise if you are comfortable doing so, and we'll turn to page 39A for the bar, which is the formal call to worship. Be seated. Page 40. Page 41, Lishma. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levacha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, ha'devarim Anochi b'tzadaka, hayom al lavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibar tzavam, v'shitecha v'lavtecha b'derech, v'shotecha v'tumecha, v'sirtam le'ota yedecha, v'hayu t'otafot b'neinecha, v'tavta amos b'tzecha, v'tisharecha. Page 42. I don't know. I'm next. Page 44. Umakus agrason kidu alahem asher shachan shravet parava lerukumam mi amota v'elim Adonai mi amota nedar b'kodesh nora teilot oseivet Malchut ha'chanecha v'hamzazeh yenu v'yamru Adonai lo v'yamam v'aleh V'ne'emar, v'kol Page 46, please rise. Shamru B'nai Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, Asot Et HaShabbat, V'Torah Meritovam, Shamru B'nai Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, Asot Et HaShabbat, Alright, page 58, corners. Ikadal, Ikadash, Mirabah, Niaman, Ibrahute, Niamli Mabute, Kayakon, Yomikon, Kayakon, Israel, Magalah, Isman, Karim, Romain, Ishmael, Korah, Elomimaya, Ishtabach, Ihar, Ibrahman, Inase, Kadar, Italeb, Italal, Shmik, Shabri, Elam, Yikol, Birkata, Shirata, Ushakata, Nechamata, Damiram, Yalmam, Yimramin, Yehesh, Mamarabam, Yishmael, Chaim, Alinu, Yakol, Yisrael, Yimramin, Oseh, Shalom, Yimramah, Uyahaseh, Shalom, Alinu, Yakol, Yisrael, Yimramin. Please be seated. We got announcements. Mazal tov to Sophie Azriel, her parents Jill and David, her grandparents Wilma Azriel and Ricky and Michael Brody on her bat mitzvah tomorrow morning. And we also welcome, and they're here, new members, Mitchell Cranen and Savannah Sweet. And unfortunately, we also have condolences this week to the family of Charles Kornheiser, grandfather of Michael and Shari, and great-grandfather of Jessica and Jamie Kornheiser. Some scheduled things coming up. Sunday morning, we have the worldwide wrap and beginners menu. So there is no 8:45 minion. At 9, we will be learning about tefillin, and at 10 there will be a special kind of beginner style, welcoming, slow it down, no mumbling, or as much mumbling as you want minion at 10 o'clock, and there will be bagels when that is done with. And then also on Sunday, evening menu will be at 5 because there's some game going on that I don't care about. And let's see. Also on Sunday, families with children 5 and under are invited to join Rabbi K for a Tu B'Shvat event. And this is an unbelievable program having you asking, aren't you glad it's Tu B'Shvat? Rabbi K is teaching a 6-part welcome class on the evolution of anti-Semitism on Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30, and that is actually beginning next week. And with hatred on the rise, you can come learn about the origins and the meaning of anti-Semitism and how we can respond. Saturday the 20th, and also actually on the 13th, we have a Tu B'Shvat Seder. So Tu B'Shvat, the Jewish holidays of the trees and nature, is happening, and so at lunchtime we'll be having an event to learn the spiritual meaning of this kind of obscure holiday. Coffee and commentary with Rabbi Bright is on the 22nd of February. On the 23rd, Rabbi Bright is leading the synagogue for dogs and the people who love them. And then also on the 23rd, our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders are making woven bracelets and slime. I'm just saying that's at noon. And then our middle schoolers are going to center ice at 1:30 with junior high. Rabbi K can tell you about all that. And then boomers are invited to play bingo and enjoy fried chicken dinner together on the night of the 23rd. There is a cost. You can register online. Also very important. So tomorrow morning services start at 9. Tomorrow evening we actually are trying a new thing. It's called Nosh and Drosh. And it's a traditional kind of Saturday afternoon singing, study, not just leftovers, but like cholent, I think, is on the table. So like a really bit of a different kind of spiritual experience. That is at 5:45. We'll have the service from about 6:15 some study, some singing, some challenge. If you don't know what it is, it's like Jewish chili, and then finishing up with Havdalah around 7. So just a chance for something a little different spiritually. Also, there was something else I was supposed to tell you. Oh yes, next Friday night, in the spirit of confusing you and changing the service times, next Friday night, I do not recognize the holiday, but apparently it's a day when people like to go out to dinner. We're going to have services at 5:30 next Friday night, a little bit earlier. Also a chance for families with kids to get a bedtime in. And then the week after that, we will be at 6. And then stay tuned. Who knows when they'll be? But really just trying out some different ways of doing things and see what works and doesn't work for people. So next Friday night, if you show up at 6:30, you will have missed all the fun. All right. We are going to finish up with Shalom Aleichem on page 5, followed by Amotzi to stick around for some bread. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. B'Hachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Te'echem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Your shoes, Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim haolam v'lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm here.
I'm here now. No, he's still on. Very tall. Okay, I see it. Okay, screaming. Okay. So stop.